drag kings, we have drag queens, we have just generally non-binary creatures. We have belly dancers, we have burlesque, we have comedy, you name it, we do it.
Okay, so basically fantasy and illusion.
Fantasy what?
Fantasy and illusion.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I want to ask you something that you said before about the, oh my God, it slipped right out of my mind. I'll go right to the next question. It slipped, it was something really, it'll come back to me.
Okay, we'll be here when it does.
Now, I want to talk about the connection for just a minute.
Okay.
Did you ever frequent the bar?
No, I did frequent the one in Nashville though, under the safety wings of Miss Calpurnia Adams, many years ago.
The reason I'm asking about the connection bar is because I wanted to know if you knew of a transsexual that was murdered by an army man there that made national news. Yeah. Now, the show today is not about trans murders. We've done that several times. We've talked about it, brought lots of awareness to that. But what I wanted to talk about with that was it made a real difference in your community. It made it safer. I noticed that when the girl actually had the courage to see it all the way through, when they murdered the man that she loved. And I found that quite interesting. I wanted to bring that up to you because I thought that you would know a little bit of the history about it, because I remember the show very vividly in my mind, that I thought it was an amazing thing that this trans woman stood up for the man that she loved that was murdered. And she saw the case to the end. Now, I saw a couple of videos of yours that I couldn't quite figure out.
Okay.
I want to just, when she said,
rabbits?
Huh?
Did they involve rabbits?
No, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was, it could have been you, but I saw a male in the mirror with reddish hair doing a trick with a string or something.
Oh, that is, I don't know why that is still attached to me. That is a guy that back when I used to do the vampire balls, that was one of the guys that we hired, and he was a magician. And he used to tag me in all of these videos. I met him once, maybe twice. I think his name was Donovan or Damien or something like that.
The reason I asked is, I mean, no offense, is I couldn't, she said to me here, because we thought it was you as a male. We thought it was you as a male. We couldn't figure it out. Why would you have this on your page? And
no, that's not me, obviously. No, totally not me.
Well, we thought, okay, because you know, when the girls start transitioning, they look a lot different.
No, I transitioned in a time before digital cameras.
Oh, okay. Now, let's talk about the Vampire Diaries. Now, you know, it's been a cult, just.
It is very much a cult.
Yeah, for decades. Now, even with Interview with a Vampire and Twilight sagas and all of that stuff, do you actually believe in vampires?
I believe that there are many kinds of creatures that walk the world that have been forgotten. We get so caught up in the internet and television and Snapchat and computers and even things like electricity that we forget that the world hasn't really changed that much in the past 2,000 years. I don't believe there are people who turn into bats and combust into flames in sunlight. No, absolutely not. But are there parasitic creatures that feed off of the energy of other people, absolutely.
Well, I understand the energy part, but have you actually ever seen someone actually, you know, bite somebody and draw blood and
Yes, I
something,
have. Yes, I
and
have many
and
times.
they live like this?
Yes, they do.
So, um, what did you think? The reason I'm asking this is because you wrote all this stuff down here.
What did I think? I thought it's none of my business. That's what I thought.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like, nope, none of my business. We will not be featuring that.
So you are running um, this spiritual temple,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and this is how you're making money by helping others understand who they are, um, just be themselves. Um, and you are, what is your main goal from all of this? What do you want to see happen? Is this going to get bigger? I mean, just hosting parties and talking.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Much bigger.
Okay.
Sorry,
So,
we just had package delivery come into the front door. Sorry.
mhm, okay. Um, the reason I'm asking is because when we have these groups and we have these platforms and we want to help across the world, and I think what caught my attention was the fact of the vampire thing, but my agent wanted me to focus on the spiritual part and the programs that you offer, so that way the LGBT community can understand, you know, what it is that you actually do.
To to best answer your question, I can give you a very good example for comparison. Are you familiar with American Horror Story?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Coven?
Yes, I saw the thing with Lady Gaga and Joan Collins, the one.
No, that was Hotel.
Oh, okay.
The one with Jessica Lange, the one with the
Oh, I
witches.
saw that. That was near the beginning.
Yes, that was the third
Yeah,
season.
I saw that.
You can very much think of me as a Fiona Good, and this as Miss Robichaud's Academy.
Oh,
That
okay. Interesting. That's probably why this caught my attention, because I did watch the first few episodes of that, and then I watched on Netflix the kickoff of, I
mm-hmm.
mean, a spinoff of that. I can't remember. Miss Nurse Ratchet was very similar.
Oh, Nurse Ratchet with Sarah Paulson.
Yes, it was very
Sarah
similar
Paulson.
to, in a sense. Okay, so now, where do you guys do anything for the LGBT Two Spirit pronoun community there? Are you involved in any way? Do you do shows in Pride or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yep. I perform at almost every Pride that's been here over the past, I'd say, 10, 15 years. I do a lot of, there are a lot of LGBTQI places here that do events that specifically benefit the LGBTQI community in some way, shape, or form. And those are usually what I do. The temple itself, we attend those things. We help when things are needed with that. I often will help them produce the events, or we will provide them with entertainers, or in some cases we will just provide them with a large amount of crowd to come and do so. We oftentimes, more than anything, are very much involved in local and national politics in the sense of activism during the the Black Lives Matter movement and the marches and protests for the life and the murder of George Floyd. The temple went and made its presence known at those protests. We were very vocal about it. We were forefront in it, mainly because we see what happened to him not as part of our community, because that's not who we are. That's your community, not ours. But we see a kindred spirit in the suffering of the the entire community of people of color, especially LGBTQI people of color.